So episode 3 of Interliminality just released and it looks very promising, but is it actually good? Does it actually end season 1 of Interliminality in a very good way? Is it actually a good finale? So today we'll be starting level by level, roughly analyzing and skimming through the level. And after each one I will give my thoughts and opinions while at the same time comparing it to the previous episode. Once we come to the end of the episode, I will give my overall rating on season 1 thus far. Let's get into it. We start off in some sort of rundown office area, introducing us to episode 3 of Interliminality. We first scan our fingerprints and listen to the phone as it says, warning us of what lies ahead. Now we switch our attention over to the garage as it opens and we find a door. Once we come to this door, we decide to open it. Now as you spawn in, you realize that you're in a dark hallway area that has TVs with numbers on them. Of course, after seeing these little numbers, you decide to do the little puzzle. It gives you 1 out of 7 for the first TV. Now, as you finish your first TV, you come outside the room, seeing a spider-like creature come down from the ceiling, hunting right after you. Now, after this cutscene, you decide to roam the halls as you avoid the monster. Now, once you completed all 7 of the TVs, you run back to the starting area and open the exit, leading you to the next level. Alright, so now time for my thoughts. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, this is a much better start than the other 2 previous episodes, and I think this is gonna be a much better direction if they push their game in this way. This is a much better way to start your overall episode and to continue your series throughout telling it in a gameplay style storytelling mode. Moving forward to the next level, you start off in a hotel area as you traverse to the elevator. Now as you get off the elevator, the phone guy tells you this. The spider thing that you encountered does not belong in the real world. Meaning that the director is awake again and is letting things from the TV world into the real world. Now as you finish the call, you jump to the other side and complete this obby. Now this obby isn't nothing too hard, but if you fall into the void, you have to restart. Now after you complete this obby, you look over, seeing the director staring into your soul. And now you complete the new obby. And once you're done, you go on to the next level. Now listen, I don't really hate the obby, but I think it's not really used right. Imagine this, the director, a giant TV monster who chased you in the last episode, now just sits there and watches you as you play. I mean, I think it would be way better if he actually tried to stop you rather than just actively looking at you and just letting you fucking get by. Now we're in a dark vent where you're consumed by the walls and it's enclosing you every single second. You realize you can't breathe and you sit there and die in the vent. Well, actually that's an exaggeration. You're not consumed by the walls, but you continue your journey as you notice the arrows on the vent telling you which way to go. Now as we come across the path, we find an arrow that has exclamation marks on top of it. Now if you choose to go left, you will meet this guy who will kill you and send you back to the start. Or if you happen to be playing with friends, he'll send you to the nice little spectator screen. Hey, but listen, if you choose to go to the right, you'll survive another day and advance to the next level. Now listen, I really like the fact that the monster on this level actually kills you and makes you have to restart. It adds some risk to the level. However, I don't really like the arrows. I think it should kind of be a guessing game strat. It kind of takes away the risk of the level. Now in the next level, as you spawn in, you get a phone call and it says this.
Hello, are you there? You're getting so close to escaping. This next section seems a bit difficult. There seems to be something running through the halls in the section. I can't quite identify what it is. Once you get past the section, it should be pretty easy. Good luck. You're going to need it.
You scan your hands in advance, spotting an arrow on the wall. Flickering lights catch your eyes as you walk. Suddenly a painting reveals a monster that's chasing you in one direction. This monster happens to be this painting creature that can come out of paintings and just dash across the goddamn halls. As you enter rooms, you spot a statue on the table. You turn it a few times, making the light green. After doing this 8 times, you head back to the exit and leave the level. Okay, listen. I think it's a very good level and I would honestly say it's probably the best one that's in Interliminality. The monster is a very unique monster. I've never really seen any other Roblox horror games do this. However, it's a little too easy to avoid. Hey, but look, using paintings as a way for the monster to get you is a unique and creative way to actually get the player engaged. It adds a lot of shock value, especially if you're afraid of jump scares, unlike me. But anyways, let's move on to the next level. In this level, you spawn in a cafe with roses on the tables next to a sign with letters on it. The number of roses for each letter helps you solve the puzzle. Once you've added it up correctly and solved it, the door opens and you rush to the subway. However, in this subway, the director shows up watching you as he sends you to the final level. First, I want to just say a very great cliffhanger ending. However, I don't really like the fact that it's a freebie level. But look, I'm not gonna harp on that too much because this level does work very well, especially considering the suspense built up from the director cutscene. Now we move on to the last level of episode 3. You spawn in the train, chased by the swarming arms of the director, hell-bent on tearing you apart. You decide to run and open the train doors while dodging obstacles on the ground. Eventually, you reach the final exit, beating Interliminality episode 3 and ending season 1, escaping the director. Or so you think. The game continues as you see the burning train. You turn and answer the phone, and the guy says,
"Oh, thank God you're alive. I was so worried you wouldn't make it out alive. I guess it's time for you to leave, huh? Until we meet again."
ending season 1. Alright, pretty good, pretty dope. However, this level pissed me the fuck off. Now listen, I did this with friends, so basically these guys kept running in front of me as I tried to open the door. And for some odd reason, if you interact with the door, it gets canceled if somebody moves in front of you. This is by far one of the stupidest things that I've seen in the game, and it honestly ruins the experience for me because I couldn't beat the level because these niggas kept running in front of the fucking door. Like, listen, this whole thing is actually pretty easy when you do a solo, but with the fucking squad, it's actually stupid. Moreover, the stuff on the ground barely even affects you, and the monster really doesn't even feel like he speeds up. And you know, this level reminds me a lot of the elevator level in the previous episode. A level that's not even scary or difficult at all. But can you guess the third problem with this level? It's too tedious. Please, for the love of God, add something different that makes your game stand out. I'm tired of all this tedious shit where I'm just going back and forth doing this and that. Hey, but the way that I feel is you should actually lose if the level is hard rather than it being tedious. I think that's how the game should be made. But to answer the question of if episode 3 of Interliminality is actually good, yes, it is actually pretty decent. It's way better than episode 2 and way better than episode 1. Episode 3 is hands down the best episode of Interliminality so far. But my issue isn't the fact that it's tedious or isn't the fact that the finale doesn't really feel good to me. It's just the fact that episode 1 and episode 2 aren't on the same level as episode 3. But look, that's enough yap from me. Let's actually get to the actual review and the rating of the game. Let's get into it. The overall game isn't really scary to me and doesn't necessarily bring too many new horror aspects. So overall, I give it a 68.5 out of 100. Not a bad score, but not a good one just yet. The game is still in its infancy, as I said, and it's only gonna get better. Hey, but just remember, this is only my opinion, so if you disagree, just let me know in the comments. Hey, and Evan, if you're watching this, keep working on your game. It's getting pretty fucking good.